Bob Monkhouse was more than just a comedian, he was an institution in British entertainment, a man whose name became synonymous with wit, charm, and an unerring ability to entertain. For over 5 decades, Monkhouse was a fixture on television screens, in comedy clubs, and at charity events, making audiences laugh with his razor-sharp humor and impeccable timing. Yet, beneath the glittering surface of his public persona lay a life filled with personal battles, heartache, and a resilience that saw him through some of life's toughest trials. The story of Bob Monkhouse is not just one of fame and fortune but also of love, loss, and the relentless pursuit of joy, both for himself and for others. His final years, marked by a courageous battle against cancer, were a testament to his enduring spirit and his unwavering commitment to making people smile, even as he faced his own mortality. Robert Allen Monkhouse was born on June 1, 1928, in Beckenham, Kent, a leafy suburb of London. From a young age, Monkhouse exhibited a natural flair for comedy and creativity, qualities that would later define his illustrious career. His childhood was not without its challenges. Growing up in a strict household, young Bob found solace in humor, using it as a shield and a means of navigating the complexities of life. Monkhouse's early foray into the world of entertainment was unconventional yet fitting for a future comedy legend. As a teenager, he began writing and selling comic books, showing an entrepreneurial spirit that would later manifest in his prolific writing for radio, television, and film. By the time he was in his early 20s, Monkhouse was already making waves in the entertainment industry, penning jokes and scripts that would be performed by some of the biggest names of the day. Monkhouse's talent as a writer was undeniable, but it was his transition to performing that truly set his career on fire. In the early 1950s, television was in its infancy, and there was a burgeoning demand for charismatic, multi-talented entertainers who could captivate audiences. Monkhouse fit the bill perfectly. With his suave appearance, quick wit, and affable demeanor, he quickly became a favorite on the small screen. His early work included hosting duties on variety shows and game shows, genres that would become his bread and butter. Monkhouse had an uncanny ability to connect with audiences, making them feel as though he was speaking directly to them, a skill that set him apart from his peers. His humor was sharp but never cruel, he knew how to walk the fine line between entertaining and offending, always leaving his audience wanting more. One of Monkhouse's most iconic roles came in the form of hosting The Golden Shot, a quirky and immensely popular game show that ran from 1967 to 1975. The show's premise, contestants guiding a blindfolded cameraman to shoot a crossbow at a target, was as bizarre as it was compelling, and Monkhouse's deft handling of the show's often chaotic elements made it a must-watch for millions. His catchphrases, quick-fire jokes, and genuine rapport with contestants turned him into a national treasure. While Monkhouse's professional life was soaring, his personal life was fraught with challenges and heartbreak. In 1949, at the age of 21, Monkhouse married his first wife, Elizabeth Thompson. The couple welcomed 3 children, Abigail, Gary, and Simon, but their family life was anything but idyllic. The birth of their son Gary, who was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, marked the beginning of a lifelong struggle that would profoundly impact Monkhouse. Raising a child with severe disabilities is a test of any parent's strength, and for Monkhouse, it was a source of deep emotional turmoil. Despite his outward success, he often felt helpless in the face of his son's condition, a sentiment that was compounded by the lack of understanding and resources available at the time. The strain of caring for Gary eventually took its toll on Monkhouse's marriage, leading to a separation from Elizabeth in 1972. Gary's death in 1992 was a devastating blow from which Monkhouse never fully recovered. In interviews later in life, he spoke candidly about the pain of losing his son, describing it as an unbearable loss that left a permanent scar on his heart. Monkhouse's grief was compounded by the fact that his daughter Abigail became estranged from him, further isolating him from the family he had once cherished. In 1973, Monkhouse married his second wife, Jacqueline Harding. The marriage brought him some measure of happiness and stability, but the specter of his past tragedies always lingered. Monkhouse often used humor as a coping mechanism, a way to mask his pain and present a brave face to the world. His ability to find laughter in even the darkest of times was both his greatest strength and, perhaps, his greatest weakness. Throughout the 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s, Monkhouse remained a fixture on British television, hosting a slew of popular game shows and variety programs. Bob's Full House, Family Fortunes, and Opportunity Knocks were just a few of the shows that cemented his status as one of Britain's most beloved entertainers. His versatility was unmatched, whether he was cracking jokes, delivering punchlines, or engaging with contestants. Monkhouse did it all with effortless charm and grace. Beyond television, Monkhouse was also a successful stand-up comedian, known for his sharp observational humor and lightning-fast wit. His stand-up routines were a masterclass in comedic timing, with jokes that ranged from playful puns to biting satire. He was a consummate professional, always honing his craft and striving to perfect his performance. Monkhouse's contributions to comedy extended beyond his own performances. He was a passionate advocate for the preservation of comedy history, amassing an extensive collection of scripts, recordings, and memorabilia that chronicled the evolution of British humour. His archive, which included everything from early radio scripts to rare television broadcasts, was a treasure trove for comedy aficionados and a testament to his deep love for the art form. In recognition of his contributions to entertainment, Monkhouse was awarded the OBE, Order of the British Empire, in 1993. The honour was a fitting tribute to a man who had given so much to the world of comedy, both as a performer and as a custodian of its history. In 2001, Monkhouse received the devastating news that he had prostate cancer, a diagnosis that would change the course of his life. True to form, Monkhouse approached his illness with the same humor and resilience that had defined his career. He continued to work, refusing to let cancer define him or rob him of his love for entertaining. Monkhouse's final years were marked by a remarkable display of courage. Despite his declining health, he remained active, performing stand-up routines and hosting television specials. His humor took on a more introspective tone, with Monkhouse often reflecting on his life, his struggles, and his impending mortality. He joked about his cancer, using it as material in his routines, a move that endeared him even more to his fans. As his condition worsened, Monkhouse became an advocate for cancer awareness, using his platform to encourage others to seek early detection and treatment. His willingness to speak openly about his illness was a departure from the private persona he had cultivated for much of his life, and it earned him the respect and admiration of both fans and colleagues. Bob Monkhouse passed away on December 29, 2003, at the age of 75. His death marked the end of an era in British entertainment, as one of the last great comedians of his generation took his final bow. Monkhouse's passing was met with an outpouring of grief and tributes from across the entertainment industry. Colleagues remembered him as a generous mentor, a consummate professional, and a man whose love for comedy was matched only by his love for life. In the years since his death, Monkhouse's legacy has continued to shine. His work remains a touchstone for comedians and entertainers, and his influence can be seen in the careers of those who followed in his footsteps. The Bob Monkhouse Archive, which was donated to the British Film Institute, ensures that his contributions to comedy will be preserved and celebrated for generations to come. Monkhouse's life was a testament to the power of humor to heal, to connect, and to transcend even the most difficult of circumstances. He was a man who brought joy to millions, even as he faced his own private battles with grace and dignity. His sad ending, marked by his courageous fight against cancer, only serves to highlight the resilience and strength that defined his